In the silence of meditation, the mind becomes like a calm sea, undisturbed and open to receive the infinite riches of divine supply. The noise of the outer world fades, and in that stillness, the truth of abundance begins to reveal itself. All wealth begins in the unseen before it appears in the seen. It begins with thought, with vibration, with the inner knowing that the universe is a storehouse of inexhaustible good. When the mind quiets, it naturally aligns with this great source, and the channels of supply open wide. You cannot hear the voice of guidance in the chaos of fear, but in meditation, the still small voice of prosperity whispers, "All that is mine is yours." In that sacred moment, you realize that you are not separate from abundance, you are one with it. In the rhythm of meditation music, the soul awakens to a new vibration. Every sound is alive with the power of creation, every note a messenger of prosperity. When you allow yourself to sink deeply into the harmony of meditation, you are no longer bound by the outer world of appearances. Instead, you are lifted into the inner realm where all wealth begins. Wealth is not first material, it is spiritual, it exists in the unseen as a vibration, and it takes form when you align yourself with it. Music becomes the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It speaks directly to the subconscious, bypassing doubt, dissolving fear, and awakening the certainty that riches are your divine inheritance. As you listen, the tones move through you like waves of light. They are not mere sounds, but living frequencies that attune your being to abundance. Every melody clears away the heavy shadows of limitation. Every harmony replaces chaos with order, fear with faith, lack with plenty. Music is the language of the soul, and when you meditate with it, your soul begins to speak in harmony with the infinite source. It is not effort that draws wealth to you. It is alignment, and music makes alignment effortless. The rhythm carries you into a state where struggle ceases and receptivity begins. Each vibration calls forth prosperity, for prosperity itself is a vibration. Just as a tuning fork resonates with a certain pitch, your mind resonates with the frequency of wealth when immersed in meditation music. The more you dwell in this vibration, the more magnetic you become. Opportunities, money, new channels of supply, all are drawn to you as naturally as a magnet draws iron. You do not need to chase after abundance, you need only to tune yourself to its song. In this sacred state, your heart opens and gratitude flows without effort. Gratitude is the magnet that multiplies supply. The music inspires this gratitude, for as you feel harmony within, you begin to see harmony without. The sound becomes a prayer in motion, carrying your affirmations on waves of energy into the ethers where they cannot fail to bring back their harvest. You begin to declare silently in rhythm with the music, "I am one with the harmony of wealth. I am in tune with divine prosperity. I vibrate with success and abundance." These words, carried on sound, become laws written into your subconscious. They cannot return void, they must manifest in form. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. You begin to feel abundance as your very state of being. You no longer wait for it or long for it. You know it is here. The vibration of music convinces the subconscious where mere words may falter. It paints pictures in the imagination, and imagination is the womb of creation. As you meditate, you may see visions of yourself living in prosperity, of wealth flowing easily to you, of doors opening without struggle. These visions are not fantasies. They are previews of what is already taking shape in the unseen. The body itself responds to this vibration. Every cell begins to hum with harmony. Tension dissolves, and energy is renewed. This physical alignment strengthens the mental and spiritual alignment, and all three, body, mind, and spirit, become instruments of prosperity. In this state, wealth is not something you chase, but something you radiate. You become a beacon of abundance, and life mirrors that light back to you in countless forms of supply. The outer world cannot resist the vibration of inner harmony. Just as music can move an entire crowd, the vibration of wealth within you moves the outer world to respond. Unexpected opportunities appear. Ideas come at the perfect time. People are drawn into your life who bring blessings and connections. This is not chance, it is law. The law is precise, and it always responds to vibration. When you dwell in the vibration of prosperity, the law of supply must deliver it into your life. Meditation music becomes not only a background but a key that unlocks the treasure house of spirit. It is a reminder that abundance is never absent, only unheard. By tuning in, you hear it, you feel it, and you call it forth. You become aware that you are living in an ocean of wealth, and the only difference between lack and abundance is recognition. Music helps you recognize it. It helps you remember that the universe is singing prosperity to you every moment. All you need do is listen and allow. Every breath becomes a prayer of alignment. Every pause, every moment of silence is a declaration that there is more working for you than against you. The universe is abundant by nature, and meditation is the key that brings you into harmony with that natural law. As you close your eyes and release the cares of the day, you step into the invisible storehouse where all supply already exists. Money, opportunities, new doors, unexpected gifts, all are already prepared in the invisible, waiting for your recognition. Meditation is not idleness, it is the greatest work, for in that silence, the mind is impressed with faith instead of fear, with wealth instead of lack, with certainty instead of confusion. When you dwell in silence, you are tuning your inner instrument to the song of abundance. Just as a musician must tune their instrument to bring forth harmony, the soul must tune itself to divine supply in order to live in the melody of prosperity. Worry, doubt, and struggle are but dissonant notes. They cannot exist when the heart is still and the mind is lifted to spirit. The law of supply responds to the vibration of faith. Faith is the highest note you can strike, and in meditation, you strike it with ease, effortlessly aligning with the riches of the universe. As you sit in meditation, imagine yourself surrounded by a river of plenty. See it flowing to you and through you, unceasing, unending, always more than enough. Know that this river has no beginning and no end, for it is the eternal current of spirit. You do not need to push or force it, you need only to allow it. The silence teaches allowance. The silence teaches trust. It is in this trust that abundance finds its way to you naturally. You no longer chase after wealth, for in meditation, you realize that wealth is already seeking you. You become magnetic, not by effort, but by alignment. The moment you align your thoughts with the divine, you begin to see proof of supply in your outer world. Ideas come to you. Inspiration arrives. People appear who hold the keys to new opportunities. What once seemed impossible begins to unfold without strain. This is the miracle of alignment. Meditation clears the clutter from the mind so that the divine plan for your prosperity can be revealed. The clutter of fear, the clutter of comparison, the clutter of doubt, all are washed away in the stillness, leaving only clarity and assurance. You begin to see that abundance is not something far away. It is something that has always been present, waiting for your recognition. Every time you enter the silence, you plant seeds of prosperity in the garden of your subconscious. Those seeds take root, and in time, they must bear fruit. You cannot plant seeds of faith and not receive a harvest of supply. The outer world is only a mirror of the inner, and meditation is the way you polish that mirror. When the inner reflects abundance, the outer must reveal it. When the inner reflects confidence, the outer must bring opportunities that match it. Meditation is the art of shaping consciousness, and consciousness shapes destiny. In the quiet, you begin to affirm truths that carry power. I am one with the divine source of all supply. Wealth flows to me in perfect ways. All that is mine by divine right is now released to me. These affirmations, repeated in the silence, sink deeply into the soil of the subconscious, where they germinate and grow into visible results. The more you practice aligning your mind with divine supply, the faster you see its evidence in your life. The silence becomes your fortress. Nothing of fear can enter it. Nothing of lack can live in it. You realize that you are safe in Spirit's care, that the supply of the universe is limitless, and that your portion of it is secure. Every meditation strengthens your faith, and faith is the golden key that opens the door to unlimited wealth. Faith does not argue, it does not doubt, it simply knows. In meditation, you come to know. You come to remember that the source of all good is your source, and it never fails. In the stillness of meditation, fear and doubt lose their power. They cannot survive in the silence, for silence is the dwelling place of spirit, and spirit knows no fear. Fear is born of noise, of confusion, of the restless chatter of the mind that argues with itself and paints pictures of lack. Doubt arises when the mind is cut off from its source, when it believes it must struggle alone. But when you sit quietly and turn inward, the clamor of fear dissolves like mist before the rising sun. In that sacred pause, you discover that you were never separate from safety, never separate from supply, never separate from love. As the music flows gently around you, every note seems to wash away the shadows of anxiety. The tones enter the hidden chambers of the subconscious and soothe them, reminding you that you are cared for, guided, and protected by an infinite presence. In this vibration, fear has no place. It may try to whisper, "What if you fail? What if there is not enough?" But the silence responds with certainty, "I am always enough. I am always supplied. I am always secure." The more you dwell in meditation, the fainter those whispers become, until they vanish completely. Doubt is nothing more than faith inverted. It is faith in lack, faith in struggle, faith in defeat. In meditation, you reverse that current. You choose to put your faith back into abundance, into the goodness of life, into the infinite supply that cannot run dry. The longer you sit in stillness, the more you feel a quiet confidence rising from within, stronger than any outward circumstance. You no longer need to wrestle with fear, you simply outgrow it. Just as darkness vanishes the moment a light is struck, so fear vanishes when the light of meditation fills the mind. The body, too, responds to this release. Muscles loosen, the breath deepens, and the heart beats calmly. The body no longer carries the weight of anxious thoughts, for the soul has remembered its truth. And as the body relaxes, the mind relaxes, and as the mind relaxes, the spirit shines more brightly. This harmony is the true wealth. From it flows all outer abundance. For when fear and doubt no longer block the way, prosperity comes rushing in like a flood. You begin to see clearly that fear was only an illusion, a shadow cast by forgetting your divine connection. In the stillness you remember that the same power that guides the stars and causes the seasons to turn is guiding your life. You remember that supply is as natural as breath, as certain as the sunrise, as constant as the tide. Doubt fades because there is nothing to doubt, the universe is unfailing, and you are its beloved creation. The more you practice this stillness, the quicker fear flees. Where once it may have taken hold of you, now it passes swiftly, powerless to linger. You become rooted in faith, and faith becomes your new habit. Faith in abundance, faith in right timing, faith in the unfolding of your good. The silence becomes your refuge, and every time fear tries to return, you know exactly where to go back into the stillness, where truth speaks louder than lies. In this sacred space, affirmations rise naturally. I release fear and embrace faith. I am fearless in spirit. I walk in confidence, for I am guided by divine wisdom. Abundance is sure, supply is sure, wealth is sure. As you repeat these words in the silence, they sink deeply into the subconscious, rewriting old patterns of fear with new patterns of courage and certainty. What once felt uncertain becomes inevitable. What once seemed impossible becomes effortless. Fear and doubt dissolve in stillness, and in their place comes peace, assurance, and joy. And from peace, abundance flows. From assurance, opportunities appear. From joy, wealth multiplies. The silence teaches you that fear was never real power, it was only a shadow. The real power has always been within you, the power of spirit, the power of faith, the power of alignment with infinite supply. And as you dwell in this truth, you find yourself not only free from fear but radiant with confidence, magnetizing prosperity in every form. Wealth is first a vibration before it ever becomes material. All things seen are born from the unseen, and all visible riches are the offspring of invisible substance. When you sit in meditation, you step into that unseen world where wealth begins. You begin to understand that money, houses, opportunities, and success are only effects, shadows cast by a deeper cause, the vibration of prosperity. If the vibration is lacking, the form will never appear. If the vibration is strong, the form must appear. Meditation trains the mind to vibrate with abundance, to feel rich in spirit, to live in the consciousness of wealth long before it touches the hands. In stillness, you realize that thoughts are not idle. Every thought is a seed, and every seed vibrates with the kind of harvest it must bring forth. A thought of lack cannot create abundance, just as a thorn bush cannot produce roses. A thought of wealth, spoken with faith and felt deeply, must bring forth prosperity, for it carries the vibration of abundance within it. The unseen world is always first. The farmer must plant the seed before he can harvest the crop, and so must you plant the vibration of wealth in the soil of your mind before you see the material increase. Meditation becomes the sacred ground where these seeds are planted. In silence, you withdraw from appearances, from the loud report of the world that says, "There is not enough, times are hard, wealth is scarce." You enter into truth, where there is no scarcity, only plenty. You remind yourself that the universe is abundant, infinite, overflowing. The stars do not count themselves, the oceans do not measure themselves. Nature never hoards, it always multiplies. This same law governs your life. As you dwell on it, you begin to vibrate with the certainty that wealth is already yours in the unseen, waiting to unfold in the seen. When you listen to meditation music, every sound seems to reinforce this truth. The tones vibrate through your body, and you realize you too are a vibration, a living instrument. If you tune yourself to the vibration of lack, you will experience lack. If you tune yourself to the vibration of prosperity, you will experience prosperity. Music makes this alignment effortless, for it lifts you above anxious thoughts and plants you firmly in harmony with spirit. Spirit is the source of wealth, and spirit is pure vibration. By aligning with it, you become a magnet to all forms of supply. In this state, you no longer wait anxiously for money to appear. You rest in assurance that it must appear, for you are already one with its vibration. You begin to speak differently. You say, "I am rich in consciousness, and therefore I am rich in manifestation." You declare, "I live in an abundant universe, and abundance flows to me with ease." These are not empty words. They are vibrations that go forth into the unseen and draw back their likeness in form. The law of vibration is unfailing. As you hold wealth in consciousness, it must appear in your experience. You notice, too, that when you shift your vibration, life responds immediately. Perhaps a small gift comes, or an unexpected opportunity arises. These are signs that the vibration has changed. The outer is beginning to reflect the inner. You no longer see money as separate from you, but as a mirror of your inner state. To lack within is to lack without, and to prosper within is to prosper without. Meditation gives you mastery over this inner state, for in the silence, you consciously choose the vibration you will hold. As you practice, wealth stops being something distant or difficult. It becomes natural, inevitable. Just as you cannot listen to uplifting music without feeling lighter, you cannot hold the vibration of prosperity without attracting its outer form. And so, every day, you return to meditation, not to force, but to align. You know that the vibration of spirit is wealth itself, and you are never separate from spirit. By claiming this truth in stillness, you live it in action. Ideas flow, guidance comes, opportunities appear, and all are reflections of the vibration you have planted in the unseen. Wealth is a spiritual vibration before it is material, and the wise man or woman begins with the unseen. They do not chase shadows, they go straight to the light. In meditation, you find that light. You nurture it, you claim it, and you let it grow until it shines so brightly that the outer world cannot help but mirror it back in money, success, and abundance. This is the law, and this law never fails. When you listen to music in meditation, you are not simply hearing sounds. You are opening channels within yourself that may have been blocked by fear, doubt, or past experiences. Supply, by its very nature, is always flowing. Just as water seeks to move forward, just as rivers always search for the sea, abundance is always seeking to find its way to you. Yet the mind, filled with worry, resentment, or disbelief, can act like a dam, holding back the natural current. Meditation music becomes a tool of release. Its vibration clears away the debris of old thoughts, dissolves the walls of resistance, and allows the current of prosperity to flow freely once again. Every note carries with it a spiritual cleansing. The gentle tones sweep through the mind, loosening the tight grip of fear. The harmonies soothe the nervous system, where doubt has etched its patterns, and open the heart to trust once more. As you relax into the rhythm, you may feel burdens lifting, as if invisible weights are being removed. These burdens were nothing more than limiting beliefs. Beliefs that supply is scarce, that life is hard, that abundance is for others but not for you. But when you allow the music to sink deeply into your being, these false beliefs lose their hold. They cannot stand against harmony, for harmony is truth. Imagine a blocked stream. The water is present, the source is abundant, yet the stones, branches, and dirt prevent it from reaching its full strength. The work is not to create more water, but to clear the channel. The same is true of supply in your life. Divine substance is limitless, flowing without end, but when your thoughts are cluttered with fear and resentment, the channel is obstructed. Meditation music becomes the gentle rain that washes the obstruction away. It clears the mind, softens the heart, and restores the natural flow of abundance. As you sit quietly with the music, you begin to notice that the energy around you feels lighter. Thoughts that once seemed heavy no longer have power. Resentments that weighed you down begin to dissolve. You may even find memories rising to the surface, moments where you felt lack, times when you feared money would not come. But instead of clinging to them, you let them go. The music helps you release them with ease, for it carries a higher vibration, and anything unlike abundance cannot remain in its presence. The more you practice, the more you notice evidence in the outer world. Unexpected income may appear, new opportunities may be presented, or old debts may be resolved with surprising ease. These are not accidents, they are signs that your channels have been cleared. When the inner flow is restored, the outer flow must follow. Life mirrors consciousness, and when consciousness is free, supply rushes in to fill the space. It is important to understand that the universe never withholds. It is always giving, always flowing, always multiplying. If there appears to be lack, it is only an appearance, the result of a blocked channel. Through meditation music, you realize that your role is not to create supply, but to allow it. You are not struggling to pull wealth into existence. You are simply clearing the path for it to reach you. The music reminds you of this truth again and again until it becomes second nature. As you listen, affirm quietly within, every channel of supply is now free. All doors are open. Divine substance flows to me without limit and without delay. These words, carried on the vibration of music, sink deeper than words spoken in haste. They reach the subconscious, where real change occurs, and they begin to rewrite your patterns. Soon, you not only believe that the channels are clear, you know it. And this knowing is what transforms appearances. With each meditation, you become more receptive. You find yourself guided to right actions, led to the right people, and inspired with the right ideas. Supply does not always fall like rain from the sky. Often it arrives through channels you could not have imagined before. Meditation clears your inner sight so you can recognize these channels when they appear. Where once you may have overlooked an opportunity, you now see it clearly. Where once you may have doubted your ability, you now act with confidence. This is the fruit of cleared channels. Life becomes effortless, flowing abundant. And so, you begin to trust the process. You no longer fear lack, for you understand it is only a temporary blockage, and you hold the key to release it. Every time you enter the silence with music, you allow divine harmony to move through you, dissolving obstacles seen and unseen. You rest in the knowing that supply is never absent, never limited, never delayed. It flows as naturally as breath, as surely as the tide, as faithfully as the sunrise. You are its channel, and you are now open, free, and receptive to all the good prepared for you. Gratitude is the golden key that multiplies abundance, and in meditation it flows effortlessly from the heart. When the mind is quiet and the soul is tuned to harmony, gratitude rises like a natural fragrance. You do not have to force it or search for it. It appears on its own, because in silence you recognize how much you already possess. Gratitude is not merely saying, "Thank you," for what has come. It is the recognition of the infinite supply that is already yours, seen and unseen. It is the acknowledgement that you live in a universe overflowing with blessings, and that every breath, every heartbeat, every opportunity is proof of divine generosity. As you sit in meditation with music surrounding you, the tones awaken this recognition. Each note reminds you of the richness of life. The melody itself is a gift, the rhythm a reminder that abundance is constant and never ending. The more you dwell in gratitude, the more you expand your capacity to receive. Gratitude is the law of increase in action. When you give thanks for what you have, you magnetize more of it. When you give thanks for what is on its way, you hasten its arrival. The act of gratitude in meditation multiplies your supply, for it aligns you with the vibration of abundance, and like attracts like. In meditation, you may find yourself giving thanks not only for what you can see, but for what you cannot yet see. You begin to say within yourself, "I am grateful for the money that is coming to me now. I am grateful for the opportunities being prepared for me. I am grateful for the doors that are opening." This gratitude is a declaration of faith. It says to the universe, "I trust you so much that I will thank you before I even hold the gift in my hand." And because faith is the law of manifestation, the universe must deliver what you have already claimed with gratitude. Every time you practice this, your inner state changes. Fear loses its grip, for you cannot be truly grateful and fearful at the same time. Doubt fades, for gratitude is proof that you believe in the goodness of life. You begin to notice that your heart feels lighter, your mind more peaceful, your spirit more joyful. Gratitude is not only the cause of abundance, it is also the evidence of abundance. Even before supply appears in form, you feel abundant because you are tuned to the vibration of thanksgiving, and what you feel within must be mirrored without. The law is simple: what you appreciate, appreciates. What you give thanks for expands. If you give thanks for even the smallest coin, soon larger sums will appear. If you give thanks for small opportunities, greater opportunities will unfold. Gratitude opens your eyes to the good that was already present but overlooked, and once you see it, you can no longer deny that abundance is all around you. The more you notice, the more there is to notice. This is how meditation transforms lack into plenty, not by changing the world outside first, but by opening the eyes of the soul to the riches that were always near. As you listen to meditation music, let gratitude become your inner song. Let every note remind you of something you can be thankful for: the breath in your body, the roof over your head, the strength of your spirit, the unseen guidance that has carried you through every difficulty. Then go deeper. Give thanks for the unseen money already flowing to you, the friendships you have yet to make, the doors that are silently opening, the miracles already on their way. By giving thanks now, you claim them, and by claiming them, you call them into form. This practice turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. A simple day becomes filled with treasures. A small blessing becomes multiplied. Even challenges begin to look different, for you find yourself giving thanks for the lessons, the growth, the hidden good within them. Gratitude lifts your vibration so high that nothing unlike abundance can remain. problems dissolve, opportunities appear, and wealth in its many forms, money, health, love, creativity, rushes in to meet you. In time, gratitude becomes your natural state. You no longer wait for a reason to give thanks. You create the reason by giving thanks in advance. You begin to see abundance everywhere, in the beauty of the sunrise, in the flow of your breath, in the opportunities that seem to appear by coincidence but are truly the reflection of your inner state. You no longer live in fear of not enough. You live in the joy of always more. The music of meditation helps seal this truth within you, reminding you over and over that every thankful thought multiplies your good. And so, you rest in the knowledge that gratitude is not just a feeling, but a force. It is the multiplying power of spirit, always available, always working. Each time you enter meditation with a grateful heart, you expand your capacity to receive. You open every channel wide and prepare yourself for blessings beyond measure. You know without doubt that gratitude has already multiplied your abundance, and you rejoice in its unfolding. Every thought is a seed, and in the silence of meditation, you become conscious of the garden you are planting. The outer world, with all its appearances of wealth or lack, is nothing more than the harvest of inner seeds once sown. If you plant thoughts of limitation, you will reap lack, for the soil of the subconscious brings forth whatever is given to it. If you plant thoughts of prosperity, you will reap abundance, for the subconscious cannot deny the seed, it must bring it to fruition. Meditation is the sacred act of sowing deliberately, of choosing to plant seeds of plenty instead of seeds of fear. As the music flows through your being, every note becomes like water nourishing the seeds of prosperity. The melodies soften the soil of the mind, making it fertile ground for new impressions. You begin to replace old patterns with new ones, letting go of the weeds of doubt and planting affirmations of wealth. In the stillness you affirm, I plant seeds of riches. I sow seeds of success. I cultivate seeds of joy, health, and prosperity. These seeds, repeated and felt with faith, take root in the subconscious, where no effort is wasted, where no word returns void. You may not see the harvest immediately, just as a farmer does not see the crop the day he plants the seed. But you rest in assurance, knowing that growth is happening beneath the surface. The soil does not question whether the seed will sprout, it simply fulfills the law of growth. So too does your subconscious. When given prosperous thoughts, it must bring them forth, and in time, what you have planted in silence will appear in form. Meditation strengthens this faith, for in stillness you are reminded that delay is not denial, and every seed has its perfect season. Consider how powerful a single seed is. Within it is the potential for an entire forest. A thought of prosperity is the same. It contains within it not only one blessing, but countless blessings, multiplying beyond measure. A thought of wealth, deeply planted, may produce opportunities, connections, creative ideas, financial increase, and peace of mind all at once. The harvest is always greater than the seed. That is the miracle of divine law. You sow little, and you reap much. Meditation also makes you aware of the thoughts you are planting unconsciously. In silence, you notice the weeds. Thoughts like, I can't. There isn't enough. It's too difficult. In the noise of daily life, these thoughts may go unnoticed, but in stillness, they rise to the surface. And once you see them, you have the power to release them. You replace them with new seeds. I can. There is more than enough. Life is easy and abundant. The music helps carry these truths deep within, replacing old roots with new growth. Every time you meditate, you tend your garden. You pull out the weeds, you water the soil, and you plant anew. The garden does not grow overnight, but with consistent care, it becomes lush, fertile, overflowing. Soon the harvest appears, first in small signs: a gift, an opportunity, a new connection. These are the sprouts breaking through the soil. And if you continue faithfully, the full crop of abundance will manifest, greater than you imagined, richer than you expected, pressed down and running over. This is why every thought matters. Each thought is a seed of prosperity or a seed of lack. You cannot sow lack and expect wealth. You cannot plant fear and expect peace. You cannot water resentment and expect joy. Meditation gives you the discipline to choose wisely. In silence, you become the master gardener, carefully planting only what you wish to reap. You know that thoughts repeated often will grow stronger, just as a seed watered daily will flourish. The music reminds you of this rhythm, guiding you to consistency, to harmony, to the steady cultivation of prosperity. And as your inner garden flourishes, so does your outer life. You find yourself naturally speaking words of abundance, taking actions that align with wealth, and attracting experiences that match your inner state. People are drawn to your energy, opportunities seem to seek you out, and supply flows more freely than before. This is no accident, it is the harvest of the seeds you planted in meditation. The law is precise, and it always produces after its kind. So each day, in the silence of meditation, you choose your seeds. You plant thoughts of gratitude, success, and plenty. You release every weed of doubt or fear, and you rest in assurance that the harvest is guaranteed. For every thought is a seed of prosperity, and when you sow richly in spirit, you cannot help but reap richly in form. There is a divine clock that governs all things, a rhythm and harmony that moves the stars in their courses and the tides in their rise and fall. In meditation, you step into alignment with that sacred rhythm. You are reminded that abundance does not come by force or struggle, but by right timing and right guidance. Just as a seed sprouts when the season is right, your prosperity unfolds in perfect order. You cannot rush the crop, nor can you delay it once the soil, the seed, and the season are aligned. Meditation music becomes the gentle reminder that all is unfolding according to a divine schedule, and your only task is to be receptive, faithful, and obedient to the inner leading. In the stillness, you let go of anxious striving. You cease from demanding that riches arrive according to your impatient timetable. Instead, you affirms, I am guided to my wealth at the right time, in the right way. The music quiets the restless mind, softens the worry that says, it is not happening fast enough, and calms the fear that whispers, perhaps it will not happen at all. In silence, you hear a deeper voice, the voice of spirit, that assures you everything is on schedule, nothing is delayed, nothing is denied. The right opportunity is finding you even now. You begin to understand that forcing the season only bruises the harvest. Just as picking fruit before it is ripe leaves it bitter, demanding your prosperity before the right time may leave you dissatisfied. Meditation teaches you trust. It whispers that every step you take is preparing you, shaping you, aligning you, so that when the door opens, you are fully ready to walk through it. What looks like delay is often preparation. What seems like waiting is often perfecting, and when you yield to divine timing, everything comes together with ease, without strain, without loss. Right timing is always paired with right guidance. Meditation opens the inner ear to hear the still, small voice that says, this is the way, walk ye in it. The world may shout many directions, urging you to chase opportunities, to grasp at wealth, to run after appearances. But in silence you hear a wiser direction. It may be a gentle nudge, a sudden idea, a quiet knowing that tells you exactly where to go, what to say, what action to take. The music becomes like a bridge, moving you from noise into clarity, from confusion into guidance. And as you obey these inner promptings, you find yourself at the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, making the right decisions. You realize that abundance is not the result of chance but of alignment. When you are in tune with divine timing, the right doors open effortlessly. You no longer need to force outcomes, chase opportunities, or cling to fear. You are guided to the work that prospers, the ideas that multiply, the connections that expand your wealth. Prosperity comes not by accident, but by divine appointment. The law of timing brings you into harmony with those appointments, and meditation is the practice that makes you aware of them. Consider how often people miss their blessings because they are too impatient or too doubtful to wait for the appointed hour. They uproot the seed before it has grown, or they abandon the field just before the harvest. But the one who meditates learns patience, learns to listen, learns to trust. You know that what is yours cannot be lost, and what belongs to you cannot be taken away. The music keeps your faith alive, reminding you that every beat is a step closer to manifestation, every tone is a signal of progress unseen. When you align with divine timing, even delays work in your favor. A door that seemed shut was never meant for you. A path that seemed blocked was saving you from loss. What looked like denial was protection. In hindsight, you see how every pause, every detour, every redirection was guiding you into greater abundance. The music of meditation helps you rest in this assurance, to see waiting not as wasted time, but as sacred preparation. You learn to celebrate the unseen progress, knowing that the flow of abundance is moving toward you with certainty. As you meditate daily, you become attuned to this flow. You stop measuring life by the clock of the world and start listening to the eternal rhythm within. You see signs of guidance, everywhere a phrase that stands out, a person you meet by chance, an inner urge to act, or a sudden peace when you are on the right path. These are confirmations that you are aligned with the rhythm of prosperity. The more you trust them, the stronger they become. And when the season of harvest arrives, it comes suddenly, sometimes beyond expectation. Opportunities blossom all at once. Supply flows from many directions. Connections appear out of nowhere. You realize that the waiting was worth it, because the reward is far greater than anything you would have forced. Meditation music for wealth and abundance is not merely sound, it is alignment. It trains your spirit to hear, to wait, to trust, and to move when the moment is right. And in that trust, wealth comes to you, not as struggle, but as a gift arriving exactly on time. A grateful heart is the magnet of abundance, and meditation music is the gentle hand that opens that heart wider and wider. When you sit in stillness, surrounded by the soft rhythm of meditative sound, you begin to notice the richness that already surrounds you. The air you breathe is a gift. The beat of your heart is a treasure, the roof over your head, the food on your table, even the smallest kindnesses of life become radiant jewels in your awareness. Gratitude shifts the gaze from what is missing to what is present, and in doing so, it multiplies the very blessings you acknowledge. Spirit responds to thanksgiving by sending more. When you say, "I am thankful for this," the universe whispers back, "Then here is more for you." Wealth flows not into a restless, complaining spirit but into a peaceful one. Meditation quiets the storm of dissatisfaction. It dissolves the habit of comparing, competing, or grasping. In the soft tones, you learn to rest in what is, and that rest becomes the soil in which more can grow. A grateful heart does not block the flow by saying, "I do not have enough." Instead, it opens wide with the affirmation, "I already live in abundance, and more is on the way." When you speak from peace, your words have creative power. When you speak from gratitude, your words draw provision. The law is simple like attracts like. A grateful heart attracts more to be grateful for. Think of a river. If it flows calmly, steadily, it nourishes everything along its banks. But if the river is blocked with debris, it floods or stagnates. A restless, fearful, ungrateful heart is like a river full of obstructions. It cannot carry prosperity smoothly. Meditation clears those blocks. Gratitude is the gentle current that restores the flow. As you sit in stillness, listening to the music, you feel the debris of complaint, doubt, and fear dissolve. You say within yourself, "I release every thought of lack. I release every word of worry. I dwell now in peace. I dwell now in thanksgiving." And the river flows again, bringing wealth in unexpected and delightful ways. Peace is not weakness, it is strength. It is the calm assurance that the universe is on your side, that God's law of supply never fails, that abundance is not scarce but infinite. Meditation teaches you this strength. The world may shout of shortages, inflation, and fear, but in your heart you hear a higher truth. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In peace, you stop chasing, you stop worrying, and you begin attracting. What you once ran after now comes to you, because you are no longer repelling it with fear or doubt. A grateful heart is magnetic. It pulls prosperity, opportunities, and wealth into your experience with quiet dignity. When you cultivate gratitude daily, even for the smallest blessings, you are tuning your life to the frequency of abundance. Gratitude for a single coin draws a bag of gold. Gratitude for a simple meal draws a feast. Gratitude for a small opportunity opens the door to great success. Meditation music softens the mind so that this gratitude flows naturally, without effort, without force. You begin to feel thankful not only for what is seen, but for what is unseen, for the wealth on its way, for the opportunities forming behind the veil, for the doors that will open tomorrow. You give thanks in advance, and that advance gratitude calls the unseen into the seen. Consider how peace and gratitude change your very energy. When you are anxious, people feel it. When you are desperate, opportunities slip away. But when you are peaceful and thankful, you become radiant. You carry an aura of confidence, joy, and faith that draws others to you. Employers, clients, friends, and helpers are drawn to a grateful spirit because it uplifts them. They sense that being near you is being near increase. Thus, your gratitude not only shifts your inner world, but transforms your outer connections. The wealth that flows to you comes not only in money, but in relationships, ideas, and doors opening through people who are magnetized by your spirit. In meditation, as the music fills the air, you can practice this gratitude. See the blessings of today, your breath, your body, your mind, your opportunities, and give thanks. Then see the blessings of tomorrow, the wealth arriving, the abundance flowing, the prosperity unfolding, and give thanks as if it is already here. Florence Scovel Shinn would remind you that words are powerful, that whatever you praise increases. As you praise life, as you bless your current circumstances, as you thank God for every gift, the law responds by multiplying your good. You may begin to notice unexpected checks, sudden opportunities, or small signs of increase that confirm the law is working, wealth is flowing. A peaceful, grateful heart is also a safe home for wealth. Many people receive money but lose it because they do not carry the inner atmosphere to sustain it. Fear makes them cling too tightly, greed makes them misuse it, dissatisfaction makes them spend it without wisdom. But when your heart is peaceful, you handle wealth with grace. When your heart is grateful, you attract even more while enjoying what you already have. Meditation trains you into this inner atmosphere, preparing you not just to receive wealth, but to keep it, grow it, and bless others with it. So each time you hear the soft tones of meditation music, let it remind you peace attracts, gratitude multiplies, and wealth flows to the heart that rests in both. The more you give thanks, the more reasons you will have to give thanks. The more you rest in peace, the more abundance will rest upon you. Wealth and abundance are not forced into your life. They are welcomed, invited, magnetized, and the doorway is always a peaceful and grateful heart. Within every soul lies a treasure chest, not buried in the sands of time nor hidden in some distant land, but residing in the quiet sanctuary of the heart. Abundance is not something to be chased, not a prize to be won after years of struggle, but a natural inheritance waiting to be remembered. Meditation is the key that opens this treasure chest. As you sit in stillness, guided by the gentle flow of music, the veil lifts, and you begin to see that everything you have sought outside has always been within. Wealth is not only coins and bills, it is ideas, inspiration, confidence, creativity, and the radiant energy that draws opportunities toward you. When you align with this truth, external wealth becomes a mirror of the inner abundance you have uncovered. The world has taught many to believe that they must strive endlessly, compete ruthlessly, or beg desperately for supply. Yet the higher truth is that abundance has always belonged to you. Just as the sun does not withhold its rays, the law of supply does not withhold prosperity. The only barrier has been the noise of fear, doubt, and unworthiness within. Meditation silences that noise. In the stillness, you hear the whisper of spirit, "All that is mine is thine." You realize you are not a beggar of life, but a rightful heir to divine riches. You do not need to wrestle with life for scraps, you need only align with the flow and receive what has already been given. As the soft tones wash over you, old beliefs begin to dissolve. The belief that money is scarce, gone. The belief that abundance is for others, gone. The belief that struggle is necessary, gone. In their place rises a new conviction: I am abundance itself. I am the channel through which wealth flows. I am one with the source, and the source is infinite. This truth does not merely comfort the mind, it transforms reality. For what you hold as true in the inner world must inevitably express in the outer world. You carry abundance within, and life must mirror it back to you. Meditation music becomes more than sound, it becomes a doorway. Each note carries you deeper into awareness of your oneness with supply. Each vibration awakens cells in your body to remember prosperity. Each pause between tones reminds you that in silence lies power, in stillness lies creation, and in peace lies manifestation. As you dwell in this space, you no longer wait for wealth to come, you begin to radiate it. And that radiance draws wealth like a magnet, whether in money, opportunities, relationships, or health. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life is a game, and that we must play it according to divine law. The law is simple: what you affirm inwardly, you manifest outwardly. When you affirm lack, you multiply lack. When you affirm abundance, you multiply abundance. Meditation makes this easier, for it stills the restless chatter and allows your affirmations to root deeply. You can affirm, I am wealth, I am abundance, I am prosperity in action, and feel the truth resonate through your being. In that resonance, the law responds, aligning circumstances, people, and events to match your inner declaration. Abundance is not arriving tomorrow, it is alive today. Every idea flowing to your mind is wealth. Every spark of inspiration is prosperity. Every breath you take is proof of infinite supply, for the air never runs out. Meditation helps you see the abundance in every moment, and when you see it, you multiply it. Gratitude pours forth, and gratitude itself is the fertile soil in which greater riches grow. Soon, you realize that you no longer manifest abundance, you embody it. You become a walking expression of prosperity, and life must reflect this truth in every area. So, let the meditation music guide you daily. Sit in stillness, breathe deeply, and remind yourself, I am one with the infinite. Abundance is my birthright. Wealth flows to me. Wealth flows through me, wealth flows from me. Carry this truth into your days. When doubts arise, return to the music, return to the stillness, return to the remembrance that you already carry the treasure within. And now, let us close with this truth: abundance is not far from you, it is not hidden from you, it is you. As you meditate, as you give thanks, as you affirm your oneness with infinite supply, the doors of wealth and prosperity swing wide open. You step forward not as a seeker but as a receiver, not as a beggar but as an heir. Wealth and abundance surround you, wealth and abundance flow to you, wealth and abundance live within you, and so it is.